Going to call the meeting of the April WSWRH Road and Road Council to order. All right, everybody can stop talking now.
Big candy mover first.
Huh? That'll do it. That's nice. You give me a different microphone. Okay, I really appreciate you coming today. For many of you, this is the third time you've been in this room in the last 3 days, so you should feel very comfortable here. Just a quick reminder to turn off your cell phones or to put them in vibrate so your neighbor won't be irritated with you when it goes off, and the speaker won't give you a terrible stare. The minutes of March 25th on 2026 were distributed in the green bag of March 31st. Were there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, we'll accept them as they were distributed. Bill Scarpese is going to give the opening reflection for today.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you very much. At this moment of reflection before the meeting's agenda, allow me to focus on the emergence of spring around us, calling us back to nature, encouraging us to step outside and reconnect with the world and ourselves. No better illustrated than in the poetry of one of our residents, Mary Caskey, as in her poem entitled On a Walkway. One spring, on a walkway through palm and oak, clumps of Spanish moss caught my eye. Drooping, dirty gray, like the cement floor in our garage, bedraggled as Rip Van Winkle's beard, brittle like Chinese noodles, while at the top of an oak, a mockingbird poured forth a non-stop song, as dazzling as sunshine on the Caribbean waters, groomed like a coloratura soprano, tender as a letter to a lover. And though nothing in the world had changed, something inside me still, there on a walkway in the presence of moss and sun. Amen.
Thank you, Bill. We really appreciate hearing that today. Linda Lawrence has sent sympathy cards to the following families of Rex Parker, Rodney Dillinger, and Ronald Johnson this past month. The President's team made a decision this past month to go ahead and send cards of the surviving spouses who were living in homes when the other spouse was living in the arbor or the health center when they passed. That's happening more and more frequently, and we just felt that that was probably a way of giving support to the other residents living in the homes and suites. On to the guests. The first guest today is Bob Bradford, resident and transportation driver, who is the employee of the month. And Carrie's going to.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Make sure everyone's awake. I have the pleasure to introduce our most recent employee of the month, Mr. Bob Bradford. Show of of hands, how many residents in here have ridden in a vehicle with Bob? Wow. Quite a few. How many lives you've touched, Bob? So I will read to you what I shared during our Employee of the Month celebration about Bob. And I'll have you know, Bob's been with us in the Transportation Department for 4 years. So Bob is truly our Superman. So he is our transportation superhero. No matter the situation, he is always there to support the transportation team. His willingness to adjust his personal schedule to help when transportation is in a jam is something special and does not go unnoticed. We're incredibly grateful to have Bob on our team. His dedication, he is so reliable, positive attitude, make a difference every day. So Bob, again, we sincerely appreciate you and everything you do for the transportation team and all of the residents. So hand of applause for Bob.
It's been my pleasure. It's been my pleasure to serve you. There are days when I get up and I say, Bob, why are you doing this? Almost every day I say that. And then I go do it and I figure it out. Because I meet people that actually impress me with all that they have going on and how they lead their lives. You are truly amazing. God bless you all.
The other guest we have today is board member Jack Crawford, who has been here before, and he has a few words to say to us.
It's always great to be here and just get a snapshot, even though this is once or twice a year, get a snapshot of resident life at Western Willows. I enjoyed and have served on the board for the last, well, let me see, 8 years. Got a few more years to go before my term runs out. But the direction of the board right now, or the focus of the board, is a strategic plan. And I'm understanding from about 5 minutes ago that you had a presentation a couple of days ago on Vision 3030. So I won't, unless you have questions, I mean, we're talking about the people in the place and the employees, we're talking about technology, we're talking about cognitive wellness and branding this place as a place to come, that we care about cognitive and we emphasize cognitive wellness, and that I'd like to invite everybody to the gala, which is coming up very shortly. I'm guessing there's probably something on the agenda for that too, in support of some exciting things that we're looking at Western Willows. I would take any questions if you have them, but otherwise I'll float back into the back again and return to you hopefully in another year.
Thank you, Jack. Now we're on to new resident introductions. The first one is with Martha Burns is going to introduce someone from Willow Ridge West Homes.
Good afternoon. I'm Martha Burns of Willows Lane, and I am a West Side greeter. I just met Jean and John Frana, who've actually been here since September, but you may not have met them because they've been so busy and at their vacation home and visiting their son in California and various other activities that keep them busy just like the rest of us. John was raised in Des Plaines, and Jean was born in Milwaukee but raised since 3 in Rockford. She's an East High grad for all you locals. They met at the University of Illinois as undergraduates, and he subsequently served 3 years in the military. Thank you, John, for your service. The Army sent John to Washington, D.C. for language school, where he became fluent in Cambodian. Jean's degree is in history and political science, so she loved being near all the museums and the seat of government activity. And John later earned an MBA at Northern Illinois University. John is the former CEO of Crusader Community Health in Rockford, which serves a population significantly under the poverty level, if you're not familiar. He later became a national consultant, helping set up similar clinics in 37 states, now serving more than 1.5 million people. He said the most interesting place he worked was at a clinic in Wichita, Kansas, located under a grain elevator, so it always smelled like soybeans. They've been married 56 years and have 2 sons whom they raised in Rockford. John's lifelong hobby was racing formula cars, a love he passed on to their 2 sons, John and Jeff, both of whom are mechanical engineers. John the younger lives with his family here in Rockford, and Jeff is in Southern California. Jean's career led her to serving as an intake specialist at the Illinois Department of Human Services, helping clients obtain needed services, which is a job she found very rewarding. Jean more recently has spent her time volunteering at her church, Emmanuel Episcopal, downtown, on various committees and events. She is also a weekly volunteer in a 3rd grade classroom at Haskell Elementary. She loves to read spy and mystery novels, to walk, and to swim in the lake near their Upper Peninsula, Michigan vacation home. It is my pleasure to introduce John and Jean Frana to the Wesley Willows family. Please rise and wave to the folks in the back.
Thank you, Martha. Nancy Woolley has a new resident to introduce from the suites.
That's my favorite task, is moving that microphone down. My name is Nancy Woolley, and I'm so pleased today to introduce Jan July, who joined us just this month. Jan was born and raised in Morris, Illinois. She went to school there through high school and then attended Evanston School of Nursing, where she received an RN degree. Her first nursing job was at the Singer Zone Center, a mental health center that had just opened at that time, now closed. Jan met and married Robert July in 1964. At that time, they moved to Rockford as Robert had started his long career here in human relations management. They had 2 daughters, Krista and Robin, and eventually 5 grandsons, now all college age or above. She and Robert were married for 62 1/2 years until he passed away last November, and she was his caregiver for the last few years of his life. Jan was a dedicated homemaker, but when their 2 daughters entered school, she began taking classes and earned an AA degree cum laude in fine arts at Rock Valley College. She then continued taking a variety of classes at Rockford College. Desiring to live in a more rural, if I can say it, setting, the family moved to Boone County in 1971, where Jan began breeding, raising, and training German Shepherds. She eventually became an expert in training her dogs to track and that resulted in American Kennel Club championships in tracking. Her favorite pets were German Shepherds, were named Honey, Sweetie, and Dolly. Jan is an avid reader and occasional writer of nonfiction and poetry, and has also created word search puzzles. She is a talented painter, using primarily watercolors to paint animals, and she is looking forward to participating in the next art show here at Wesley Willows. As she looks forward to this new phase of her life, Jan plans to stay active in all of the above-mentioned activities here, except, of course, she will not be raising and competing with German Shepherds. Jan is looking forward to meeting new people, building new friendships, which she's already begun, and becoming an active part in community life by taking advantage of the many amenities and opportunities available here at Wesley Willows. Please join me in welcoming Jan July.
Thank you, Nancy, and welcome to all of our new residents. Announcements, we only have one today, and it's from Kirby Doyle from the Prairie. Well, she's not from the Prairie.
I live in a house where I have a lot of prairie plants coming up, if that counts. We're going to have a first meeting on Wednesday, May 13th at 1:30. We're going to possibly be discussing the swap spot composting thing. I don't know if that's anything that prairie people necessarily want to take on, but you know, our prairie is really self-sustaining. It doesn't really need us anymore. We're not going to be able to burn this spring, it's too wet. And the plants are now up. So if we set fire to them, you know, they won't bite us. So it's a good prairie. Just know that it's not a weed patch. It's brown is a color. So it'll all start getting greener. And the plants come up through those stalks of brown stuff that are out there. So don't worry, it's a good prairie. We'll try to get the prairie book box up and running by the end of the month. It's been too cold and damp and so on for anybody to want to sit down on the bench and read the materials, so we'll wait till we know that the weather's going to stay a little warmer. But it'll be in business soon, where you can come and sit and get materials out of the box that relate to prairie plants, and please do not leave any romantic novels. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirby. So now it's time for administration to take over, and I think Natasha McNeil is first up this time.
Good afternoon and happy Wednesday to all. My name is Natasha McNeil and I am the Interim Vice President of Advancement for the Wesley Willows community. I don't plan to stand before you for very long, but I just want to make sure that everyone is well aware of our first gala, which will be happening on Saturday, May the 16th at the Rockford Country Club. The word on the street is that people are not aware that we have an amazing silent auction. It is available online. You can look into your green bag. We've also posted information on the Wellzesta. And you can also see us at the end of this meeting. My colleague Eric, who's in the back there, will be selling tickets with me and answering any questions. I just want to make sure that everybody is aware that this is a gala for each and every one in this room. This is about the future of Wesley Willows. As previously mentioned by Jack, our board member, we have initiatives that are in place that are a part of our Vision 2030, and we want to make sure that we have the right initiatives in place so that we can thrive for generations to come. Thank you for your time, and again, if you have any questions, we would love to see you at the end of this meeting. Thank you.
And next up is Annie Bolts. It's very busy this week.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces here from last night's dinner, where I had the opportunity to serve you. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Annie. I oversee culinary operations for Wesley Willows. I just want to take a few minutes to talk about our new point of sale system, or our POS as we call it. With any new system, there have been some growing pains. We do want you to know that we're continuing to make improvements every day and working through our new system bugs. They come along with a rollout like this, as we've experienced. We are aware that there have been some errors on resident statements, and we take that very seriously. Our dining team is working closely with the accounting team to catch and correct as many issues as possible before statements are finalized. If you have a billing concern, please don't hesitate to reach out to accounting. Together with accounting, myself, and others who have access to the system, we can research your account and make any necessary corrections or credits. If you have any specific individual billing questions, those are best handled outside of resident counsel, as they're private. So I can give them the attention they deserve. I will be staying today after this meeting to address any concerns that anybody has individually, and I can address any questions that you might have. For any other dining related questions, feedback, or ideas, I continue to encourage you to bring those to our delicious discussions meetings. Those are designed specifically for those kinds of conversations. We hold delicious discussions on the third Tuesday of every month. I do sincerely thank you for your patience as we continue to improve and for your ongoing communication and feedback with the new systems that we roll out as we continue to elevate our programs. We have a new teaching kitchen coming out, May 26th. Our superfood is going to be salmon, and I really hope I see you all there. And please do not hesitate to find me afterwards if you have any questions related to billing or anything else. Thank you so much.
Well, I happened to look on Wellzesta, and the teaching kitchen is all enrolled. So I was going to sign up, but waited too long. Next up is Brendan Merkel.
I'm going to be much longer than Annie, just to pre-warn you. Lots to cover here today. All right, so we're going to talk about some work orders for the month of March. We had 1,827 total work orders created. Continue to go up on the created work orders. We completed 1,769, 80 of those. So that's good. Some of those are going to be from the prior month as well, but that's the total number we completed within the month. So we have 27 pending and 11 still out there as new. So we've got some work to do. We still see our percentages are doing well. 80% is always our goal, so that's great. So 80% completed within one day, that's pretty phenomenal for the amount of work orders that we're doing. And then a total of 87 from that, 2 to 3 days. So again, the guys are responding well and they're doing great for the amount of work orders that we do have. We're also seeing some good numbers with our Wellzesta QR code, our resident entry portal, so that's great. So for the month of March, out of those 1,800 work orders, we had 4.7% that were completed through the Wellzesta or the QR code, so that's good. We were 2% in February, and we keep kind of seeing that trending, so that's great. So keep it up. Last month, I talked about preventive maintenance, so the guys are working on those for the homes, filters, batteries, CO2 detectors, all those. I will say that it is slow going. So we're about halfway through our deadline here to be done by the end of May. It's possible that we'll be going into June on that. So if you're getting towards the end of May and you're not done yet, don't sweat it. We'll get you when we can, but it could prolong just a little bit longer. Window washing is ongoing. We talked about that again last month. So we had dates throughout the month of April here. We did have a little bit of delay in Suites 3. So Suites 3 was getting done today, the exteriors. So and then the west side homes will be this week and into next week. So we're on track for that. All right, storm recap and the tornadoes. So we had quite a busy couple of weeks here with all the code blacks and everything we had. We did lose power. Obviously, if you lived on the west side of Rockton, you didn't have power for about 5 hours, right? I just want to give a shout out to everybody that helped with that. I mean, the maintenance team that was here, many of the guys came in and helped support us in that. We did what we could with the hand we were dealt with that, right? We had the generators running in the town center. We had a couple little hiccups with that we're kind of working through. But considering the 5-hour outage, we did okay. I'm not too concerned with any of that. So if you had any issues related to that, just let me know. You can give me an email or give me a call and we can chat that through. But as far as I know, we took care of everything and we're back in business. Coming up in May, we're going to do an update to the Sarah software. This will be just a program update, a software update. So we'll send out a notice about that. There's going to be a downtime for when pendants will not be able to be used. So we're going to have a window of a time there that the pendants will not be able to be received. So we'll give direction on how things should happen during that process. So look for that date in May. All right, this is from President's team. I think it goes without saying, but I was asked to remind everybody that we do not allow dumpster divers. That includes residents. So nobody should be in the dumpster trying to pull stuff out of the dumpster. And that's a joke. The reason I say that, we did have an incident on the east side where we had to politely ask somebody to leave that was on property, trying to grab scrap out of the dumpster, right? We don't allow that. It's a liability issue. I would be concerned if you guys were in the dumpster, or if I was in the dumpster, or Tricia was in the dumpster, I would have concerns. So let's just stay out of the dumpster together. Thank you. And if you ever see something that's just not right out there, call maintenance. We'll handle it. All right, concrete repairs. So we've got some work to do, right? We heard about that this week at one of the resident meetings. So we're doing a full campus assessment of that and putting a big list together so that we can kind of roll that out in one deployment. So we had a capital meeting this morning. We talked a little bit about that. We have a dollar amount in mind that we're gonna earmark to that. So stay tuned and be patient. And if you see sidewalk stuff that's unlevel, just be careful for the time being. All right, landscaping, as you can imagine, we are delayed. I wonder why. Lots of rain, right? So we're a couple of weeks behind normal. Generally, we would be full-blown mulched by now for the most part. So Jeff, I talked to Jeff this morning. It sounds like we're about 2 weeks out from having everything complete, and it sounds like we're working on both sides of campus. So they're tag teaming things over there. All right, last one. Many of the homes received the letter from the city about the new energy aggregate program, right? Okay. So that is I think it's every 24 months, the City of Rockford negotiates a bulk rate for your energy service, right? They're negotiating in your best interest. So,
electric, sir.
I'm sorry, electric. Did I say 13? What did I say?
Energy.
Electric, yep. But it is electric only. But they do the negotiating for you at a best rate on your behalf. So we assume that's a good rate. So our recommendation is to do nothing and enroll in their program. It's totally up to you if you did decide to do something different. It's just our recommendation. It's a lot easier. Sometimes if you get into these other providers, it might be cheap today, but next year and the year after, it's going to kind of escalate. So be careful with that if you do something different. That's everything I have. Are there any questions?
I mentioned last month about handicap parking. You only got 4 spots. You got 800 people living. Like my wife has a hard time, she would walk and everything else. And there are more people like that. Can't you maybe expand some more handicap parking?
Question was, we need more handicap parking. So yes, we'll continue to evaluate that and see where we might be able to add, for sure. You can also use transportation on campus too, if that's also an option. Go ahead.
Well, Brandon,
Sure. Yep.
being newer to Wesley Willows, and I don't necessarily live here at the center, but I live at the homes, but the people who live here, on these tornado warnings, sirens, what's their protocol? Where do they go? if you're on the 4th floor, where's a safe place for them to be?
Sure.
And is anybody telling them to go to the basement, or what's your procedure on that?
Yep, good question. We've just done some resident trainings on that, meetings. But generally the rule of thumb, just like we would do in our home, right? The safest place is always gonna be in the basement, right? If we can't get to the basement, interior hallways are great, bathrooms are great, in your apartment, your suite. We talked about stairwells. Stairwells are also great. You know, we're looking for those structurally sound spots. And generally our hallways are our load-bearing walls, so we wanna be near those if we can't get to the basement.
Okay, thanks.
Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, great. Way in the back.
One night I didn't go down to my meal. I don't know if you have suggestions about that. If I don't go down, then I'm charged, but I'm supposed to be in the tornado warning area.
Annie will see you after the meeting. All right. A meal, something with an issue with the meal, way over my pay grade, way over.
So fish washed my windows, put the hard water spots in the sprinkler, it looks like they weren't washed at all. I mean, I saw them, I know they did them, but I can't tell the difference. Anything we do about hard water spots?
Comment was, anything we do about the hard water spots after the windows are clean? Probably not too much this season, but Tricia back in the back had a very good observation about that process. We're gonna try to do a little bit different scheduling next year and possibly do the window cleaning after we open up the system. So that should help that.
It's a sprinkler like all season long, hits the window.
Yeah,
That's why the hard water spots.
If it's an adjustment thing, let us know, we can certainly do that. But when they open the systems, they're supposed to be adjusting those when they do that. Okay, can you let Tricia know about that and we can get an address? Thank you. All right, thank you.
And finally, here's Jessica.
Good news? Always. I try. Nice to see you all today, and it's been a week of seeing you, so it's nice to have so many meetings to see you. Wanted to give a quick occupancy report. For our new residents that are just joining us, I always start off with letting everyone know where we are with occupancy in each area of our campus. So East Side Homes, we only have 2 available still. We have 1 on hold. West Side Homes, we have 1 available, 3 on hold. Suites 1, we have 6 available, 1 on hold. Suites 2, 1 available, and none on hold at the moment. And then Suites 3, we have 4 available and 2 on hold. In the Willows Arbor building, we have 26 on hold, but we have so many move-ins coming up. I think that number is actually gone up to 6 now instead of 5 since I updated this slide. So that's a total occupancy of 92% along our campus. So really strong. Wanted to give a little bit of a WellZesta update. So we continue to get a lot of usage for residents. We're about 50%. We'd like that to be 100. So if you're not using WellZesta yet, we really encourage you to do so. We continue to have help throughout the month. If you can't log in or you're not sure where to go once you get on there, we're here to help you. That information will be in your green bag, so come and see us if you need help. I want to talk a little bit about transportation and trips, signing up for trips. I've got a couple questions on that this month. So if you do sign up for a trip on WellZesta and you register you go to events and you register for that particular trip, we're going to assume that you're going to be on the bus with us. So you don't have to then recall us and let us know you're going to be on the bus, because if you're signing up for a trip, we already know you're going to be a part of that. If you do want to meet us out in the community wherever the trip is going to be and you're not going to drive, that's okay too, and that does sometimes happen. It's very rare though. All you would have to do is just let Jill or Brooke know so that they can make sure that you're gonna meet us there instead of riding the bus. But otherwise, if you sign up and you registered for a trip on Wellzesta, you got a seat saved on the bus already. I got a couple questions here. I'm gonna start with Alice.
The other issue was if you sign up with WellVesta and you live in a home, they assume you want to be picked up in the home. If that's not where you want to be picked up, you need to clarify that some way in the system.
Yes.
Email Greenback team.
Yep. So wherever you live, we're gonna pick you up at, it's door-to-door service. Nothing but the best.
Yes.
Okay, Lloyd?
Now, there had been some difficulty separating out the transportation to things like doctor appointments, and it seemed like Wellzesta was only designed for going to doctor appointments. Has that been changed?
Yes. So for events on Wellzesta, the trips will be located on the events tab. And then the next thing that I wanted to talk about was the off-campus transportation requests. So if you want to make an off-campus transportation request to go to the doctor or go to a beauty shop appointment off-campus or wherever it is that you would like to go, you can now go to the concierge link. And there is a transportation form there that you would fill out, letting us know where you want to go, and all of those are then funneled to transportation. So you can make those on Wellzesta now. You can also still call like usual. So whatever is easiest for you, but did want to make sure that you were aware that you can request those on Wellzesta. Does that answer your question?
Currently, concierge only has maintenance requests.
No, there's like 7 things you can do.
So maybe try expanding the little arrow there. You should have several things, IT and transportation is one of them. So.
Oh, I got some.
Okay, so if you have any questions about that, again, Wellzesta training meetings are perfect. Otherwise, just grab one of us and we'll show you how to do that. That form that you fill out for the request should be pretty easy for you. So we encourage you to do that. Okay. The next thing I want to tell you. Okay, so I'm gonna have you save the date. We have our annual box office event coming up in July. I know it feels very far away, but really it's just around the corner. And can anybody guess what the show is gonna be this year? The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz. And who doesn't love the Wizard of Oz? So we're very much looking forward to that this year. It's a lot of fun. If you're new to the community, since we had it last year, it's a benefit that supports the Good Samaritan Fund, which of course is for residents who outlive their financial resources. It's a fun afternoon of activities and fellowship, and then we watch the show out at Rock Valley at the Starlight Theater. So it's a lot of fun. And it's going to be very special this year. So we hope that you will join us. We're going to have ticket sales at this meeting in May. So next month, we'll have those ready for you. And then you should be getting invitations in your green bag in a few weeks, hopefully. So before the meeting next month. So just be looking out for that stuff, and again, please save the date. We would love for everybody in this room to come to that. Okay. And then lastly, I just wanted to let everyone know, reminders. We have volunteer luncheons coming up tomorrow and Friday. If you're not aware, April is Volunteer Appreciation Month. And any guesses on how many volunteers we have here at Wesley Willows? 200 is a good guess. 144. So that's amazing. So I just wanted to say thank you so much to all of our volunteers. You all do so much, and we wouldn't be a vibrant community if it wasn't everybody who's volunteering and doing their part. So we're gonna have some fun tomorrow and Friday. And then I do wanna say, if you are new or you are not a volunteer, even though we have 144, we could still use more volunteers, right, Gail? So, if you're interested in whether that's an hour a week or if it's 5 hours a week or more, anything in between, it really does take a village. We've got something for everybody, so let us know if you are interested. That's all I have for you today. Yes?
It's possible I'm gonna be here for the next 10 years. I wanna know, is there a cap on the rent cost?
Is there a cap on the rent
I mean, because it
cost?
goes up every single year.
Yeah.
I wanna know, I mean, that could be quite a bit if I'm still here for another 10 years.
That would be a Brett Nelson question. I know each year we do have increases. That's a very specific question, Brett.
There is no cap, but if you run out of funds, we have the Good Samaritan Fund for anybody who outlives their
There's no
means.
cap? No, so I could be paying $10,000 a month, possibly?
So it likely wouldn't be that.
50 years from now, maybe?
Well, regardless, it could, I mean, I could still go up at least $1,000 if I'm here for another 10 years, or 2,000.
Potentially. It's an annual increase. That's what we do.
But there's no cap.
No.
Hard to hear an answer.
So the answer was technically there's no cap, but we do also have the Good Samaritan Fund to help you if you outlive your financial resources. What other questions can I answer? Yes.
Well, last time I checked, it has been for a while, the Spring Creek concerts that usually weren't in Wells, are they in Wells now?
Oh, that's a great question. So the Spring Creek concerts, are they in Wells Esta? I don't think they're in there yet. So that is a resident-driven event, and that is a good reminder. If anybody who leads an event, if you're a resident-driven activity leader and you need some help getting that on Wells Esta, we'd be happy to help you with that. So we want to make sure that as many events and trips on there as possible. So it's not on there yet, but we're working towards that.
With transportation to something like that would be on Wells Esta, if it was offered by.
If it was on Wells Esta, then it would be. But again, it's a resident-driven activity, and so our resident leaders often will take care of those sign-ups and work with transportation.
But so it's not going to be on Wells Esta, is that what you're
We can work towards that. I'm not sure if it will be or not because that's a resident leader decision. Okay? All right. We do encourage all events and trips to be on Wells Esta though. Jill, did you have something?
I was just gonna add, if you are a resident leader and you want your event on Wells Esta, email Greenbag and we will get it on there for you.
Yep.
The
Jill
green
was
bag.
just giving a reminder, if you are a resident leader and need your event or your trip on Wells Esta, we'd be happy to put that on there for you. Just let us know. You can let us know that by emailing the green bag at Wesley Willow's email, or you can do that in person with Jill and Brooke. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. It's nice to see you all this day.
Anybody have any other questions or comments to make? Just a reminder that next month, the May meeting is our annual election, and we will present a slate of officers for your consideration. At that time, there will also be nominations from the floor that can be given, but we will hold the election next month. So if there's anybody who's interested in running as an officer, get a neighbor to put your name up. Yeah, we can do that. That shouldn't be a problem. So, we've completed the agenda, so this meeting is adjourned until next month at same time, same place. Yes, yes.